Hello, welcome back to yet another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and every day is apparently a good day for a ban, as another card has been banned from MTG Arena. Kind of. It's been suspended, but by being suspended, it is in fact the second time this month they've gotten rid of an important card, and they're giving out no wild cards for it. So let's get into it. This time they did give it a front page, its own article, its own banned and restricted announcement, instead of slipping it in with the MTG Arena updates for the week. So let's go. On this day of our Lord, July 21st, 2021, in Historic, Brainstorm is suspended. And unlike some of their announcements, they felt the need to write us a little book about Brainstorm. So, a blue instant that draws cards being suspended in Historic. What a world. Let's read it with a fine-tooth comb. In the banned and restricted announcement for Historic in June, we mentioned that we were keeping an eye on the high play rate and perceived dominance of blue-red decks in general, and Brainstorm in particular. I don't want to just fly right over that little perceived dominance just kind of hidden in there, like you guys think it wins, you don't know anything. As we watched, we saw an interesting pattern emerge. Though decks like Izzet Phoenix and Jeskai Control represented a metagame share that usually indicates a dominantly powerful deck, their win rates have been fair and healthy. Okay. For example, Izzet Phoenix was approximately 30% of the metagame in the July Strixhaven League weekend, which is a very high percentage for one deck to claim, but its win rate there was 51.5%, far from dominating or threatening. This matches our internal data, which constantly showed Izzet Phoenix with a win rate a bit above 52% and Jeskai Control a bit above 51% in high-level best-of-3 play. I'm going to come back to this. Let's just read the announcement, and then I'm going to pick it apart. Given these lower win rates for Izzet Phoenix and Jeskai Control, and the presence of multiple other archetypes with strong records against both decks and the rest of the field, we expected to see the metagame share of these decks decline over time. Though we saw some reduction, the combined metagame share among high-level players and best-of-3 ladder play declined steadily from 17% in mid-June to 14% more recently. The combined metagame share among high-level players in best-of-3 ladder. Do they mean mythic? Do they mean mythic numbers? Maybe. These two decks have remained the most played there, usually by a good margin. When evaluating a format, our goals are generally to create a balanced, fun, and diverse metagame. Our goals are generally to create a balanced, fun, and diverse metagame. Can't wait to chew on that one. While decks like Izzet Phoenix and Jeskai Control are not showing win rates that threaten balance, their steadily high metagame share is certainly harming deck diversity, which in turn reduces the fun of the format. While we are seeing some motion to correct this, the rate of change is too gradual to quickly address the format imbalance. To improve format diversity, Brainstorm is suspended in Historic. While our most recent actions in Historic have been bans, such as those for Time Warp and Thassa's Oracle, those were cases where we had clear and convincing data showing the cards were problematic. In this case, the data is less clear, and that is exactly where we prefer to utilize suspension. We will continue to monitor the Historic meta closely to see if it reaches a point where reintroducing Brainstorm seems safe, or if we should move to fully ban Brainstorm. Boom! Boom! They got rid of the one blue, instant speed, draw 3, put 2 back. If you don't play much Historic, I think when this card was announced, it was it was going to be in the Mystical Archive and therefore Historic legal, and it wasn't instant banned like Lightning Bolt was. I think a lot of people were like, yeah, that's not gonna last. I mean, this card, one blue, draw 3 cards, then put 2 from your hand back on top in any order. It seems like you're just kind of digging 3, picking 1, and then drawing the next 2, but it's too easy to combine it with so many different effects and just abuse the abilities of Brainstorm. Just to completely take it to another level. Obviously, Fabled Passage is legal. That's the Wombo combo, but people have shown so many other ways to do it. Stormwing Entity and things like that. But more so, just having it in the format was enough. Like, if you didn't get to shuffle things away in your Jeskai control deck, but you found the right answer 2 turns earlier than you would have, that's enough. And this card getting suspended, I think, was something that we had to see coming. You saw it coming. Anyway, I just keep that around for the memes right now. Anyway, what confounds me is the article. Whoever wrote this is a Brainstorm stan. This is somebody who woke up every day just so happy to have Brainstorm in their frickin' format, because they take shot after shot being like, well, actually, nerds, you may be whining about Brainstorm, but the format's not healthy. It's not healthy. Yeah, the format's not healthy. The format's not healthy. No, the format's fine. These win rates are fine. You could beat these Brainstorm decks. You're just not trying because you're not playing Magic. Why aren't you playing more Magic, playing decks that aren't Brainstorm, trying to beat Brainstorm? What's the matter with you? I know what's up. Why don't you? I'm going to solve it. Hopefully this person watches the channel. I'm gonna give them the truth. Here's your truth bomb right now. When one color or strategy has access to cards that are just so much better than the other cards that the other colors could play, people are only going to play those cards. And when people only play one kind of deck, card, or strategy, in this case, blue decks that want to draw little cards and maybe have Fabled Passage in them, it's a pretty low bar to clear. And the opponents of those decks have to play them over and over and over. Sometimes winning is not enough. And that's where the win rate check on a healthy format or a healthy deck fails you. Sometimes win rate is not enough. Sometimes you win and you still hit the frowny face, because that was frickin' boring. My opponent turn 1 brainstormed. Took him 15 minutes to figure out which 2 cards to put back and which 3 to keep. 10 minutes later, like, they brainstorm again. Then they flashback brainstorm with their Trenchel Gear Hulk. I played like 5 minutes of Magic. My opponent played like 15. I won, but it still isn't fun. And when I queued up again and my opponent turn 1 tank, brainstormed, I scooped and I said, I'm not playing Historic until this card is banned. And that is why your win rates don't matter. Your game has to be fun. The cards have to, across the colors, have to have kind of a balance where you can feel like you're playing a smart, competitive game across many, many, many options in different colors. And Brainstorm basically said, if you want to play a smart, competitive game, you play blue. And that's it. And that's why people just aren't playing other things. If they don't like Brainstorm and the decks that Brainstorm is in, they're just not going to play Historic. They're not going to switch to something else, or they're going to be the crazies who like Brainstorm and just play it every day. Like, that's your story. That's why your win rates, Mr. Smarty Pants writing for Wizards of the Coast, don't actually matter. Neither do your, like, percentages in Mythic and blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Now, one other thing I want to touch on quickly. This is a suspension. They pulled out the suspension card. They banned things for a while, so you might have forgotten what a suspension is, or if you're new to this, you don't know what a suspension is. Suspension is you don't get wild cards, because they think they might bring it back in 6 months. Once they suspend something by their own rules, which they might make up at any time, they have 6 months to decide whether to ban it or unsuspend it. And while it's suspended, you can't play it, but you get no wild cards. For the second time in July, they found a way to completely shake the format, force people to craft new decks, and give them no wild cards in return. Nice. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Does Brainstorm's suspension mean that you're going to play Historic now? What do you think will be the best decks in Historic? What decks rise where Brainstorm, the waters of Brainstorm recede? And probably more important, will it be unsuspended? Is Brainstorm coming back? And seriously, the wild cards, what's up with that? Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.